The cinemas were closed. But now they're open. So guess who's back? Yes, after a 7-month layoff, Mont TV Movie Reviews Instant Response returns in full effect, bigger and better than ever before. I genuinely can't believe I'm back inside a cinema in Great Britain. I am genuinely so excited to see a movie on that big screen once again. It's just such a buzz to be back. And what a movie I'm about to see. Flashback to March 2020, and I actually had a ticket in my hand to see this movie. But due obviously to COVID-19, the release date was continuously put back and back and back again. So fast forward 15 months and I find myself here at the cinema, finally about to go and see A Quiet Place Part 2. John Krasinski's original 2018 release, A Quiet Place, was a genuine surprise hit of that year. It literally came out of nowhere and took everyone completely by surprise, catching everyone completely off guard and delivering a movie that is now regarded as a modern day horror great. Costing just $17 million to make, the first film went on to take at the box office over $340 million. The sequel has been given a budget of $61 million and sees the wonderful Emily Blunt return and also Cillian Murphy now take a starring role. Right, the wait is finally over. Let's get on with this job in hand. Let's get into that theatre. Let's watch this movie on the big screen. I'm honestly so excited about doing this again. And then after, I'll be giving my instant response movie review about the film I've just seen, expressing my thoughts, opinions and feelings about the movie. And of course, finishing it off with a Mont TV star rating. Okay, bellies in, let's go. Okay gang, how good does it feel to see a movie on the big screen back in the cinema? It feels absolutely fantastic. And I've just come out of screen number 8 after viewing A Quiet Place 2. A Quiet Place Part 2, as the official title goes. And what a movie it was. Now Part 2 basically starts off directly from where Part 1 leaves us, yeah? It's a complete continuation. And I must say, watching a movie about sort of global threat and, a threat to civilization, disaster movie kind of scenario, having experienced what we have experienced in the last year as a global society with COVID-19, it actually heightens the impact of the movie all the more. But what we're going to do now, gang, we're basically going to get back to my car to continue this conversation as we're coming out of the cinema and continue with Drive Time, where we're going to deeper discussion, deeper review and deeper response to what was a truly good movie. Yes, we're back in my car, and that can only mean one thing. We're back with Drive Time here on Mont TV and my instant response movie review of A Quiet Place Part 2. Now the first movie brought some really interesting and innovative ideas to the screen, with silence being golden and the use of silence on screen and images to build tension, making it all the more sort of complex and all the more interesting as a film as a whole. And Part 2 carries on in that same form, really using the idea that being quiet, you have to be quiet to survive. Firstly, watching it in a cinema where there's generally moments and minutes of complete silence on screen. So you're watching that in a cinema with people, and I really felt sorry for the guy a couple of rows down who was trying to eat this big load of popcorn he had. Yeah, don't take food in to see this movie because there's not really a lot of times when you can eat. And you're just trying to be quiet, basically. You're just trying to be quiet. So part 2 actually starts with a really wonderful opening sequence where it takes us back to before part 1, yeah? It takes us back to day 1 of when these events that basically have shaped the world they live in start. Now, the story does actually go through sort of many of these Armageddon type films that we've seen before, you know, where the world has changed and the survival mode kicks in. There's a few sort of steps which I have seen before, and you do initially I was sort of thinking, all right, okay, is this really going to work out as well as I was hoping it would? But it does. It really does. The continual feel of threat that is running through this movie really runs into you. Now, from when I saw the last one, which was like, say, it would have been February 2020, I saw it just before I was scheduled to see part 2, just before COVID-19 struck the world, or struck the UK. And at that time, my fiance was pregnant with our first child, little Hudson. Now, Hudson's here. Hudson's doing well. He's 11 months old tomorrow, actually. And watching that movie, the second movie, as a parent and as a parent of a small baby, Christ, it actually made it really hard to watch in many places, honestly. Because in part 1, Emily Blunt is pregnant with a kid, and obviously she ends up giving birth to the baby. Obviously, in a world where you can't make any noise, a baby obviously makes a hell of a lot of noise, believe me. It's actually a nightmare. It's actually a nightmare scenario. There's some genuinely really hard to watch scenes. One in particular when they're struggling for breath, I honestly found that really, really hard to watch. Now, in a lot of disaster movies or horror movies, you find, why do the characters find the urge to split up, like divide their numbers? I've never thought this. I watched if there was a real, atrocity or a real reason in real life to survive. My first instinct would be, right, we're all sticking together. Now, for some reason, the characters in this movie decide to split up on their little adventures and their little battles for survival. And you're actually thinking, why the bloody hell are you doing this? But it works. It really works, because each of them is having their own battle, their own adventure, their own battle to survive. And at some point, these stories all cross on screen, and the tension that is built, in some of these moments, is actually off the scale. It's a real tense movie. That's the word of the day. Tense. It actually becomes like quite painful viewing in many ways. You start thinking, oh, can I actually watch this? Do I need to see any more of this constant threat for the whole 97 minutes that the film is? Because if they make the smallest bit of noise, they're under attack or they're under threat. So the tension is there all the way through. Obviously it's heightened in places and lowered in certain sections, but the tension is always there. But it really does build to the most wonderful, emotional climax, and a beautiful paid off climax, which obviously I'm not going to go into too much, but it basically is the two films coming together to actually this climax, which you don't expect, because you're constantly thinking, how are they getting out of this one? How is this going to turn out? And the climax is so rewarding. I genuinely shed a few tears. I had my mask on and I had tears rolling down my mask. And then the lights come on really quickly and I was like, oh shit, like, you know, trying to, you know, clean my eyes up before anyone else saw. But I'm pretty sure that everyone else in the cinema felt the same way. And because of this wonderfully satisfying, emotionally charged ending of the movie, you come out and, I mean, all films should be like this. All films, even though there's certain points in the movie where maybe your attention sort of goes a little bit, you know, because it's quiet. Sometimes there's not a lot going on, just in certain sections, and so you've got space for your mind to wander. You do actually start thinking, oh, I hope this is going to be worth it. But it really is, and it all comes together like all movies should. You should obviously only ever judge a movie by how you feel at the end, once you've seen the whole thing. And it was a real satisfying watch, and it was a real wonderful watch for my first time back in the cinema for a long period of time, you know. All the performances are wonderful. Emily Blunt, as I said, is a delight as always. Okay, she's no Mary Poppins, but she's certainly up there. The addition of Cillian Murphy, who's a wonderful actor, been in some truly great films and some good roles. His character really builds nicely, and by the end you're really satisfied by his performance by this man. But the movie really is all about the two performances from the two kids. There's almost like a change in a guard here going on, and they really do deliver great performances, wonderful presence on screen, and they again build into the film. And Millicent, I can't remember her surname offhand, I'm so sorry, Millicent and Jonah Jupp. Oh damn, how can I not remember their names? This is really bad. See, it's moments like this when you can see this is a genuine instant response. Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic, and I really think the movie is a wonderful piece of work, and you must go see this. Go see it on the big screen, please. Okay, so now it's time for my official Mont TV movie review star rating, and the star rating for A Quiet Place Part 2 is an excellent 4 stars. Woo! Okay gang, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for telling your friends and getting involved, and please, if you haven't subscribed, like, comment, please feel free to comment on anything and I'll respond, and let's get some conversations going about movies, you know. Spread the gospel according to Mont TV movie reviews, and I'll see you very soon. Tell your friends, keep it here guys.